A series of grim tales, The Poor Gatsfly, by the Sisters Gruesome. Here begins the tale of a lonely frog. If you are expecting a charming story, close the pages of this book now. Our frog's experience will not be easy. But if you so choose to subject yourself to the trying tale of our frog, read on. Chapter 1. Once upon a time, a frog named George Gatsby sat on a lily pad pondering life. Suddenly, he spotted a beautiful princess and croaked frantically to get her attention. She noticed him and walked over. Her name was Rose. They got along extremely well, and he began to feel himself falling in love with her. Soon it was dark, and she got up to go home. As she was leaving, she turned to say, "Too bad you are just an ugly frog. I might love you, but I am much too beautiful to marry you." So he sat and began to dream. He hated himself for being so ugly and wished she would love him for who he was and not his looks. Chapter 2. Gatsby spent his days alone and depressed until he overheard two frogs talking about stealing golden flies meant to go feed the starving tadpoles. The frogs planned to take the flies because they could turn frogs into princes. Intrigued, Gatsby hopped over and asked if he could join. They agreed, eager for the help. They successfully intercepted the boat carrying the flies. Gatsby snatched them first and ran away from his fellow thieves. Quickly he ate all the flies, hoping that if he ate more, he'd be even more handsome for his princess. His dream came true and he became a beautiful prince. Chapter 3. On his way to find Rose, he was scolded by his fellow frogs. They didn't like the strange way he was acting and how he'd become something different. They agreed to shun him. George didn't care what they thought, though. He was only worried about his Rose. Gatsby finally found Rose, and she cried at the sight of his handsomeness. Though she was married, she promised to run away with Gatsby. As she turned to kiss him for the first time, George leaned in excitedly. This was the moment he had been waiting for. Suddenly the tips of his limbs felt cold. He heard a pop and his skin shriveled. Rose had an evil glint in her eye that he had not seen before. Gatsby realized she was sucking everything out of him. She took his good looks to make herself even more beautiful, and she left him a croaking frog without a soul, as she had taken that too in the process. There Gatsby sat. As he began to sing to himself in an attempt to make himself feel better, he attracted the attention of his fellow frogs. They simultaneously attacked. He was dismembered, and his parts were sold to a French restaurant. The end. Moral: don't even try to achieve your dreams. They are too easily corrupted and destroyed.